Hey YouTube, this is Crab Collector 01 back today for another video review. Today I'll be reviewing the Galactic Gale Baxingar mech, or Baxingar, however you want to say it. It is the 5 motorcycles as you see here. You get this red motorcycle, die-cast caster wheels, pretty nice. The limbs, or the ones that make the limbs, are pretty well the same. But they're very nice. They got some nice heft to them. The caster wheels help them to roll along and stay upright. Pretty nice. The other limbs are basically motorcycles with sidecars. So there's the black one. And here's the blue one. You'll have to forgive me, my knowledge on this series is fairly limited, and there's not a lot about these series online. I know they're part of what's considered the J9 continuity of, there was 3, there was Bragger, Baxingar, and Saucy Rager. But I'm not super knowledgeable on the series themselves. I just have some of the toys. And here's the main vehicle itself, the largest of the 3. And you'll notice that actually at the time of this review, mine broke. It actually has some handlebars that stick out here, like so, and then when you transform it, they slide down into the chest, which mine actually snapped at the hinge point on these, which isn't that big of a deal because I really didn't like the look when they pushed down into the robot mode. So I'm not really too upset about that break. If anything, I think it makes it look a little cleaner, especially since the other ones don't have handlebars anyway. It just kind of fits in. So, but I don't know if it's honestly worth trying to fix. I have them, as you can see. It snapped right there at the brace point, and it was inevitable. It was going to happen. They flex and then push down. And this is an old toy. This is nearly a 40-year-old figure. So, I mean, that was kind of inevitable. I'm not super pressed about that. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and get into the transformation. I'm going to show you guys what it comes with, because if you pick this up, there is a lot of spare pieces, to the point that I actually keep a Ziploc baggie with this figure to keep all the spare parts in. There's that many spare parts. Most of the spare parts are on the vehicles, but we do have some separate. We have this body block with these spring-loaded tabs. So we'll move some of these out of the side, and I'll show you some of the spare part count on this. So we have our body block. We have 2 fists. We have 2 arm connectors. We have the robot mode head crest. We have 2 launchers. 2 missiles, separate. They are different missiles. And we have our sword. So the missiles, you know, they just load up. They do shoot incredibly hard. If I can get it to fire. Yeah, that one's lost to the void for the time being. Let me pause this and I'll be right back. We'll grab that missile and then we'll get into the transformation. All right, guys, we're back. So to start off, we will move these other guys out of the way. We'll start with what's going to be the legs. So to transform them, what you want to do is you grab this front wheel of these, pull it out, take the sidecar and rotate it in. And that's all for the legs. One thing I need to mention though, the launchers actually plug into the sidecars like that. Minor thing, I just forgot to mention it. So there we have one of our legs. Then we bring in the black one. do the same thing. We're going to pull out this front wheel. They just tab into place. Fold the sidecar in, and there are our legs. Now we can take our big block like body piece, and these engines are spring loaded, so they'll push down just like so. And there we have our legs in place. We'll set that to the side. Next we'll do the arms. So for the arms, what you want to do is you're going to push this white button, and that's going to eject this front wheel. It's spring loaded, so you eject the wheel, and you take the back wheel, grab it kind of here at the axle, pull it straight out. Then we're going to take one of these arm connectors, slide it into place just like so, and then you can take your fist. I think I usually make this guy the right arm, so we're going to take our right fist and put it in place. I always depress the buttons when I lock the hands in. You don't have to do that, it just makes me feel a little bit better. So same thing with yellow. We will eject the front wheel, pull out the back wheel. We'll get our arm connector, slide it down into place, and put these fists in like so. And there we have the arms. We'll set them to the side. So here's both arms together. A lot of parts forming on this guy, but I feel like the end result is definitely worth it, because it's pretty cool how it all comes together. And the bulk of what makes it cool is kind of here in the chest area. So for this one, you want to push the seat down completely flat. You're going to take off this entire back plate. It just slides into these holes like so. Next, you're going to come up to the front like all the other ones and pull off the front wheel, which is easier said than done. We don't want to do that just yet. Next, we're going to pull off the front wheel. I like to keep a finger on these like wheel well pieces, because when you pull it off, then these come off. And this is your waist piece. They just kind of sit in there. You can see the notches. It just sits in there and the wheel holds it on, just so that doesn't, you know, fly everywhere. Same thing there. Pull the wheel off. Take your side piece out. Then you can raise these like wing sections. This light in the front will automorph when you slide this chest section up. Well, as I say that, it don't do it. But it flips up right there, and you slide that into place. And then here's where your handlebars would sit. If, say, like mine wasn't broken, they would slide down into the front of the figure, kind of like it would look a lot like this, which I don't really mind, like I said, because it's broke, because now the robot mode's actually quite a bit cleaner without that sticking out, so that doesn't bother me too bad. One thing to note though, if you get the Japanese release of this, the handlebars on this are chrome, so when they slide in and out, usually what you'll see is the chrome is just mangled on those handlebars. Then what you can do here, we'll bring in the body. We'll raise this camera up some. You can take your engine. You can push it through by hand like that to expose the head, or you can push it through on the body for like a head reveal, which is what we're going to try to do. But before I forget, you take these side skirts, and there's a little tab here on there, and the bigger tab goes in the back. They slide up into here and lock in. So they'll just kind of slide up and into place. I tend to be really careful with these two pieces because they seem to be very thin on those tabs. But that's what it'll look like when it's locked in. Then you can take the entire thing, slide it down, locks into place and exposes the head. Then we can add our arms in. There's just a couple spring-loaded tabs here. We just put our arms in. And then we take our head crest, that was the separate piece, and we stick it right behind this red piece. And there you have Baxingar in his robot mode. And he's actually a really cool mech. You can add the blasters to the back. I usually color coordinate it to the arms, so I'll usually do like yellow on this side, red on that side, and have him like that. He can hold them in his hands. And he's got his weapon. But he's very cool. He's a super cool robot. This figure and the Bat Train from Saucer Rager is probably two of my favorite like mecha robots in my entire collection. I think they're that good. They are hard to find. This was, I believe, the Royal Condor release, which was, I kind of want to say knockoff, but it's not really. They're like the Americanized versions that Royal Condor kind of brought over. Well, at least for this guy. And he's very nice quality. Just like I said, you know, the handlebars broke on mine, but that was inevitable. It's incredibly thin plastic. I mean, you're flexing a plastic piece that's nearly 40 years old. I think it's like, I think next year this figure will be 40 years old. Because I believe they released in 83. So 23 should make it 40. But yeah, if you can find one, pick it up at a good price, because they're definitely worth it. They're super cool. If you like vintage mechs, old school stuff like that, they're worth every penny. They're super solid. I do kind of worry about the longevity of like the clip. That singular clip holds this entire piece on and the wheel, so I try not to mess with this guy a whole lot just because of that, because he is getting up there in age. But no articulation to speak of. These elbows are supposed to bend. They don't. I have tried it. They are super tight, and I'm quite frankly scared to bend them, so they don't get bent. But yeah, if you find one in the wild at a decent price, pick it up. It's worth it. Just watch out for the few little things, and there's a lot of extra pieces. So I'm actually going to get into a parts count right now to show you. This is what's left over once you have your blasters, your sword, your headpiece, the arm connectors, the fist, and the body all put together. You have two big wheels from the motorcycle. You have two of these specific wheels for the motorcycle. These are the ones that are spring-loaded. You have two back wheels for the motorcycles, and you have three front wheels for the sidecars and the main bike, and you have the back plate for the main motorcycle. So it is quite a large part count. A lot of things to be aware of. Just make sure that you have, you know, one wheel each for the sidecars, two for each motorcycle, and three for the main one, and you should be good. So I'd recommend picking this guy up complete. If you see anything, maybe missing one or two, missing the launchers, you'd be okay. But because it's incredibly hard to find parts for these. You know, you're looking at figures that are 40 plus years old. It's not so easy to find parts. You can spend years looking for parts for one of these. So if you see one, try to get it as complete as possible. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review and this look at the Baxingar mech. And thanks for watching, guys. This is Crave Collector 01 with Baxingar signing out.